Hi, my name's Chris McDowell. I live in Las Vegas, and I saw a video online about Sleep in Heavenly Peace back in, I want to say 2018. And up to this point in my life, I had never really done any type of philanthropy or volunteering. And it just touched me, and I knew that it was something that I wanted to be interested in. So at the time, we were growing as an organization. And when we opened the Las Vegas chapter, I think we were the 200th chapter. So since 2018 until now, we've grown from 9 chapters to, I just looked at our statistics, and we are at 326 chapters across the United States, Puerto Rico, and Canada.
Can you tell the kids a little bit about the organization? I know they read up a little bit about it, but can you talk about the problem and how you guys are trying to create a solution for that problem?
Absolutely. So through our studies, we found that between 2 and 3% of the children in the United States are sleeping on the floor. And it was started by a couple up in Idaho, and they heard about a family who needed beds for their children, and they just built them in their garage, and it just took off from there. And it started with 1 chapter, and then around Idaho and around the Salt Lake City area, they started, incorporating it, and grew to 9 chapters over the next, I want to say 6 years. And then a TV personality here in the United States by the name of Mike Rowe profiled them, and that's what really added fuel to our mission to build beds for children who are sleeping on the floor. So when you have 2 to 3% of kids in the United States sleeping on the floor, that adds up very quickly. And in my area in Las Vegas, Nevada, we think we have about 9 to 13,000 children who are sleeping on the floor. To this point, we've been able to put a little bit of a dent in it and help out. And since we started 3 years ago, we provided 600 beds. So about 200 beds a year to children in our community.
And that's absolutely wonderful, wonderful stuff. I've gotten some, and you guys, thank you for the questions in the chat. Keep them coming. And we had some emailed to us. So one of the kids, they wanted to know, does it ever feel overwhelming with the need versus what you guys are able to supply? And how do you overcome that?
I don't know that you overcome it. I think it's something that is, there's been some sleepless nights, to be honest with you, knowing that the demand is extremely high. We do have an application process, which is very simple. Here's the challenge. We know that we can only build and deliver so many beds a year. And that's a fact that we've had to kind of accept. And really that number is between 300 and 400 beds a year. And there are times throughout the year where we have to turn off the application so that we don't end up with 500 to 600 kids or families on our waiting list, knowing that it probably will take 2 to 3 months from the time that you submit an application to actually get a bed. So we've had to limit that. I wish our team was about 4 times as big as it is. And we're still trying to get the word out, because I would like to see us grow so we can do more.
Well, you guys are certainly making a dent in it in our community, both in Nevada as well as in other states and even other countries. One of our students, they wanted to know, how can I get more involved in the community that I live in, and I don't live in the United States? What kind of advice would you have for me?
I think that Sleep in Heavenly Peace is looking for ways to expand internationally to other countries. I don't know. That will be a process, and I wish I could say that we were available in every single country in the world, but we're just not at this point. So, my advice to you would be, until such a time when there is a Sleep in Heavenly Peace or a similar charity, I would encourage you to find something that really inspires you to get involved and give back.
Have you ever seen, like, because you guys have that online application process, you guys are actually you're very active in social media. Is there any opportunities for kids that you see as far as leveraging technology to help support philanthropic endeavors such as yours?
I do, because we have become so engaged in social media that when you do, the younger generation is, let's be honest, they're so much better at technology than some of the older folks, right? Where you can add value to any organization is to jump in and be part of that social media presence, and some of the video creation, some of the pictures. You can help out organizations who don't have a dedicated resource to create those videos. So there's so many opportunities out there for you.
And there's not just, and guys, there's more information at shpbeds.org. Definitely check that out. It's a cool organization. But even if there isn't a Sleep in Heavenly Peace in their country, wherever they're at, or their community, what kind of advice would you give to these kids as far as they see a problem or an issue, and how can they go about maybe trying to fix that?
I think that, if I look at myself back when I was all of your ages, it wasn't pressed upon us. And now that you are getting engaged, I would say, look inward. What is your passion? What are the things that really matter to you individually? And search and research and find different opportunities that really give you pleasure in helping people, in areas that really, light a fire inside you to say, boy, I can make a difference. Most young people don't have a lot of money, but they have something else that's even more valuable, and it's time. And if you can donate your time and your energy and your passion, you will add such tremendous value to whatever charity or foundation that you decide to work with.
And can you kind of touch, I know you touched on this a little bit, but can you tell the kids about the importance of kindness? Now, you hadn't always worked in philanthropy, correct?
Correct. I have not. I hate to say it, but I am almost 52 years old. And up until 3 years ago, I had not really gotten involved because I hadn't found something that really touched me. So at this point, I can't even begin to describe the feeling you get from helping people or making a difference in your community, because you can look back and say, boy, I made a difference. I helped those people in whatever capacity, whether it's with beds, whether it's with food, clothing drives, or, helping out with sports teams who need assistant coaches, art schools, any place that really drives you. I would look for opportunities that matter to you, because if it matters to you, it's going to matter to somebody else.
That's absolutely wonderful. And you're talking about, what you're kind of describing is intrinsic motivation, and you're not getting anything back other than being kind to other people. And that's phenomenal stuff. So we'll let you go in a second. We have a couple more student questions, and because I know it's getting kind of late for some of our Eastern European kids. So they wanted to know, what kind of advice would you have for them if they find a problem in their community, they find an organization that can help fix that problem, but they're a little shy as far as reaching out? Would you recommend just cold calling, email? What would you say? How do you guys get volunteers?
I think a lot of it is word of mouth. And so if you're worried about, well, do I take the leap? Do I reach out, through a phone call or through an email? Or a lot of these organizations have their websites that you can put your information, and they will reach back out to you once you fill out their forms. Another piece of advice is talk to a friend who might kind of have some of the same thoughts and principles that you do, and have that motivation to want to give back and be kind to people. And your parents. Tell your parents, hey, I want to get involved with this. Will you help me get involved? And hey, is it something that you would like to do with me? So there's a lot of avenues.
Well, Chris, we can't thank you enough for taking the time to speak to us. I see a lot of kids over there taking notes and stuff like that. So thank you guys for your involvement. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. So before we let you go, is there any advice that you can give to these kids as they kind of go off in the world and figure out what kind of path they want to carve? You are somebody, you touched on this, where you kind of just said that it's never too late to start. So what kind of advice would you have for these kids as they figure out what kind of trail they want to blaze?
I would say start early, start now, because not only have I found new friendships and families by getting involved with people, I've made all these great connections that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I would say start early, and one volunteer opportunity may turn into something different. Or you'll meet a friend who says, hey, if you like this, if you like doing this, I have another idea. So it will just continue to spiral in a very positive direction. Don't wait till you're 50. Get involved now.
That is phenomenal advice. And again, we can't thank you enough for taking the time to speak to us today. And guys, again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Definitely check out his website. We'll have it in the video. We also have it in the chat. We have our edutainment catalog in the chat. We have a lot of great guest speakers. Next week, Dr. Martin Luther King's Director of Education is going to talk to you guys about what Dr. King was like in real life. And Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us, guys. I hope everyone is healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are at. And before I end the call for everybody, I'm going to allow everyone to unmute. And can we all say thank you to Christopher for taking the time out of his valuable day to come talk to you guys about giving back. Thank you so much, Chris. We appreciate you greatly, sir.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.